18-year-old Indigenous boy from the Fraser Valley. He died of a drug overdose, and now the boy's grieving family is calling for the government to do more for children when their mental health crumbles. A warning some viewers may find the details disturbing. CTV's Michelle Bernaro has the exclusive story.
Chayton Point loved to turn up the music and show off his moves.
He was quite the funny kid. He loved dancing.
He was the kind of kid, says his mom, who even from a young age acted like a gentleman.
He'd get somewhere in the car and he'd be like, "Mommy, wait there." And he'd jump out of the car and he'd run and go open the car door for me.
But Christine Mason says when Chayton, who is Indigenous, was about 10, he suffered deep trauma that he initially kept secret. And what happened to him changed him.
About a year and a half ago, he started self-harming.
Chayton's mom took him to counselors and therapists. He was put on an antidepressant, but last spring he started to use. His drug of choice was Molly. Then his friend Brianna McDonald, who was also just 13, died of a suspected drug overdose, despite her parents' plea to Fraser Health to put her into involuntary treatment. The loss left Chayton devastated. His mom, an outreach worker, says she tried desperately to find additional help.
I was told that I had every resource in place for him, and there was nothing more that I could do to support my child and his mental health.
With his mental health spiraling, he ended up in Abbotsford Regional Hospital, where his parents say they asked the psychiatrist about the child's psych ward at Surrey Memorial.
We asked him to keep him.
And he did.
But he told us that he personally advised us that he wouldn't keep his own child there. So I don't know, if a doctor tells you that, what type of what decision would you make?
So they agreed he should go home with a safety plan in place. Unbeknownst to Mason, her son would later find this wallet with drugs inside. He would use those drugs, and when his mom went to wake him the next morning, he was not breathing.
I ran over and I was like, "Jay." We Narcaned him, and paramedics told us to put him on the floor and start doing CPR.
But it was too late.
They told me that my son wasn't coming back, that I went and sat with him, and I just held his hand, and I just told him how much I loved him, and I was sorry for everything.
Now the family is publicly pushing for better treatment options for kids.
There's not a lot of resources for kids that age. It's more for adults.
I really think that there should be more centers, or more drop-in centers for youth who are struggling with mental health. Like, there's just nothing out there.
NDP leader David Eby says the province has been trying to make it easier for parents to get their children help.
We've opened a beautiful new treatment center for youth on the island called Orca-Lalem. We've opened additional youth treatment beds here in Vancouver. Foundry centers across the province so that kids get easy access to help, and we know we've got more to do.
The BC Conservative leader saying he's committed to improving treatment options.
We're planning to build out significant support, everything from doctor-prescribed treatment to short-term treatment and recovery to long-term recovery, as well as to that compassionate involuntary care and treatment that's needed.
Mason believes her son wants his story told as a warning to others that even when they are hurting, drugs are not the answer.
You don't know what's in there. They just sprinkle some fentanyl and you could be done. Like, you're literally playing with your life.
And one life lost is one too many. Michelle Bernaro, CTV News, Abbotsford.